The future is here, apparently, or so Saudi Arabia's Neom claims. The brainchild of Crown Prince and de facto ruler Mohammed bin Salman shocked many by starting construction of its most controversial project in late 2022. Drone footage released showed an aerial view of the site with excavators cutting a long, straight path through the desert, 200 meters wide, 170 kilometers long, 500 meters above sea level. Now imagine 9 million people contained within those two stretch lines. Twin mirrored skyscrapers that stretch horizontally for miles meet the line. The line aims to reestablish vertical living of hyper-proximity as the new normal. As Neom proudly advertises it, it is a new urban way of living where people come closer together than ever before imaginable. Bad news for us introverts. While many are still trying to wrap their heads around this dystopian future, Neom is pushing forward with its construction plans, and it is scheduled to have its earliest residents move in by 2024. But with so many things that could go wrong, the line is doomed to fail. And at a starting cost of $500 billion, it will likely go down in history as one of the most expensive failures of mankind. In today's video, we're diving in with our top reasons why the line will fail. Number 4. The technology to support this vision does not exist yet. In 2016, Saudi Arabia unveiled Vision 2030 as its pathway to the future. It aims to reduce the country's dependence on oil, instead diversifying its economy with deeply ambitious megaprojects. Aligning with this, the Crown Prince has announced 3 greater Neom initiatives. Oxagon is a floating port and logistic hub with a distinctive octagonal shape. Trojena is an outdoor activity resort and is set to host the 2028 Asian Winter Games. And then we have The Line, which promises to be a fully developed vertical, 3-dimensional city expected to house 9 million residents. This project is an immature materialization of an overly ambitious concept called zero-gravity urbanism, whereby its residents have immediate access to amenities, all within a 5-minute walk or by using a train with an end-to-end transit of 20 minutes. The line will be built in 3 layers: a surface-level pedestrian layer, a lower service layer, and an even deeper transportation spine to support ultra-high-speed transit. In promotional videos for the line, viewers are given a glimpse into life without cars, streets, or emissions. It claims that the layered vertical city eases urban barriers that currently limit social inclusion. Experts weigh in that these goals are unfeasible. The plan for a miles-long line that can be walked in only 5 minutes is questionable. It is also spatially ineffective and economically costly to operate and maintain its hidden underground train. The technology needed for its proposed transit system is also many decades away. Traveling 106 miles in 20 minutes would require a speed of 318 miles per hour. In comparison, the fastest Hyperloop tests so far have topped out at 288 miles per hour, without any passengers. The line is also nestled in a dry climate and has to combat its water supply issues with desalination plants powered by fossil fuels. Desalination plants using renewable energies have never been successful, and climate experts are concerned that Neom's bet on non-existent technology is just a pilot experimental project entrenched in technological optimism. If your skepticism radar is bouncing off the walls, and this is sounding all too familiar, that's because it is. Back in 2006, King Abdullah Economic City was intended to have a population of 2 million, but the project is since stalled and only has 4,000 inhabitants today. More recently, in 2013, Saudi Arabia literally aimed for the sky with their failed project, Jeddah Tower. It is now an abandoned skyscraper that was meant to be the world's tallest building at 1,000 meters or 3,281 feet. Its rivals, too, suffer the same fate. In 2016, construction began on Dubai Creek Tower. which would become the tallest supported tower in the world, surpassing Dubai's tallest skyscraper, Burj Khalifa. That is, if it ever gets completed. It seems that Vision 2030 keeps repeating mistakes of failed megaprojects without assessing whether its current technology and resources are conducive to support its lofty goals. Number 3. The project is full of human rights violations. Promotional materials stress that the line will be built on virgin land, but there have been turbulent, violent efforts to relocate the indigenous residents of the Neom site. The Hittite tribe have lived there for generations, with lineage going back before the founding of the Saudi state. At least 20,000 members of the tribe have been evicted to make way for the project. One member, Abdul Rahim al-Huwati, was killed for protesting the forced eviction. Other members have also been arrested and sentenced to extraordinary prison terms. The brutality highlights the kingdom's lack of care toward tribal communities that have been long suppressed by the state. Its members have voiced that their crown prince began by making sweet promises that he would develop their land and that their tribe would in turn make money. But these empty words have now left them homeless. Human rights experts aren't the least bit surprised. To build a mega project like Neom requires a large land grab where forced displacement is inevitable and is almost always accompanied by human rights violations. The line is also being dubbed as a glorified surveillance city. The project will pay its 9 million residents for sharing their data. While this is not uncommon in smart cities highly leveraged by artificial intelligence, its privacy concerns are a human rights violation in waiting. Sure, there will supposedly be flying drones for taxis and a man-made moon to sweeten the deal, but Saudi Arabia's poor human rights records does not bode well for responsible data usage or safeguarding of individual privacy. With the line offering financial incentives for the mining of personal data, it distorts the right for its residents to freely consent. Project officials claim that the data sweep would feed information back into the city to better predict its residents' needs, but experts remain skeptical. Before we continue, if you're enjoying this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so you never miss out on videos like this. Number 2. The project is an ecological disaster. There's been no shortage of outlandish promises for the line, but even the optimists can't be fooled with this one. The project claims that it would generate zero carbon emissions, but how could this mega project be in any sense sustainable? Experts have evaluated that its construction would produce more than 1.8 billion tons of carbon dioxide, equivalent to more than 4 years of the UK's entire emissions. Biofuturists also argue that the line's design of horizontal stretch and vertical reach would have serious impacts on animals that migrate across the region. Barriers of this length will interfere with all manners of species as they journey through the desert. Neom also claims that its exterior ensures the city will blend into its desert surroundings, but the project's mirrored walls may disrupt migration and are a major risk for bird collision. The migrations take place every year via the Red Sea, along which the project will be built, and the reflective walls may confuse birds and potentially kill them. The line's design images also show a lush city garden intended to make residents feel closer to nature, but the leafy species and the promotional materials aren't native to Saudi Arabia and may endanger the local environment. Artificial ecosystems, like the ones Neom has suggested, may introduce invasive vegetable or animal species that threaten the local environment. Insects like ants and mosquitoes can also travel via these imported plants and bring with them potential risks to human health. Number 1. The design is functionally inefficient, expensive to construct, and even more costly to maintain. The line is a link stretching from the sun-scorched Red Sea coast to the craggy mountain Badlands. With summer temperatures above 100 degrees Fahrenheit and almost no fresh water, the project will soon be home to millions in its desert environment. Ah, yes, this, apparently, is the height of luxury. As many critics have pointed out, what is the benefit of its skyscraper height when there is so much desert it could spread out to? Former Neom planners also believe that the build will cost $1 trillion instead of the $500 billion cost advertised. And what about its maintenance costs? There are many unforeseeable problems that ambitious megaprojects inevitably encounter. Budget bloat, technological limitations, economic conditions, and misaligned vision to reality execution all contribute. In one of Neom's glitzy promos, the city of Manhattan, with its population of 9 million, is reimagined as a vertical city with zero-gravity urbanism. The line is set to have the same number of population by its completion. With this marketing ploy, the project aims to convince skeptics that their futuristic design principles can be used to redesign crowded cities. Can you imagine the Big Apple with rats the size of your face and its trash-lined streets, all stacked vertically? And that's before you add its taxis and skyscrapers. The Crown Prince also reportedly told the project's designers that he favored the cyberpunk aesthetic, which heavily juxtaposes artificial intelligence and advanced technology with an oppressive and dystopian society. Neom also hired consultants whose portfolios have been centered on fantasy and dystopian Hollywood films. These designers have helped create the looks of Guardians of the Galaxy, World War Z, and I Am Legend. Creating fictional cities for the big screen is one thing, but real-life urban planning ain't no SimCity game with an undo button. Like its regional rivals, Saudi Arabia has a history of abandoned mega-projects that serve as yet another billion-dollar grave in the desert sand. With that, the amount of scrutiny surrounding Neom and the line is unrivaled. Is this controversial project just a giant social experiment? Is this promised Neverland just a vanity project glossed over with its technological smokes and mirrors? Or is this cutting-edge utopia worthy of only dreamers and believers? Perhaps Neom will prove us all wrong with its futuristic cities and new way of living. Or maybe its ideas will continue to exist only in the pages of sci-fi novels. So, what do you think? Will the line ever be completed? And would you live there? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.